Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel. My name is Neo. In this video, we are working on another client and we are doing a really pretty glam nude excuse me, birthday set. My brain is all over. This was a birthday set. This was a new client and I was so excited. She wanted long nails. She wanted like nude, nothing like crazy colored, and she wanted glam, but it was for her birthday. So she showed me some reference photos and we kind of just came up with this together. I'm so happy with the way that this came out, and yeah. So I'm starting off with the two guys one-step coffin tips. It was really funny because I put the tips on her and I'm like, okay, so what shape do you want? And I had to cut them down. So I'm like, what shape are you looking at? And she's just like, this shape. And I was like, do you know what these tips are called? And she's like, no. And I'm like, one-step coffin, because all you got to do is snip off the tip and you have a perfect coffin. So that was funny. So I went in, made sure that the tips fit. Some of her fingers did the wobble. We did laugh about that as well. I pointed it out to her, like, okay, so you see how your fingers going to the left a little bit here? I had to place the tip in line with her knuckles and not the tip, especially this finger here. You see how her fingertip actually goes to your left as you're watching the screen. So I had to place the tip more along towards the right to make sure that the tip looked straight rather than going to the left with her finger that's doing the wobble. So that's just something to look out for if you are doing nails for people. Line the tips up with their knuckles, not necessarily their fingertips, because you don't want to end up with a set that's really gorgeous but then the fingers are, you know, going in all different types of directions. So I had already prepped her nails with a cuticle bit and sanding band. So all I did just now with that sanding band is blend the tip into the natural nail. Now I'm going in with my normal priming system, so the Mia Secret dehydrator, the primer, and a thin coat of the Young Nails Protein Bond. So to start, I am using the Sugar and Cream Crystal Clear Acrylic to give her a thin coat of the clear acrylic. Just a nice thin layer to protect her nail from any damage if I go in to change a color, to protect her from staining with possible future sets, and to make redesigning easier for me and for her. So when she comes in for a redesign, I don't have to file down to her natural nail. I can just file down to this clear acrylic layer and then refill with clear and then build it back up from there. So that's just what I'm doing. It takes like a minute or two, just making sure not to flood the cuticle. Most of the time I'll place that bead a little further away from the cuticle and then push it up towards the cuticle. That's one way to ensure not flooding it, and to make sure that if you can see, I'm placing her fingers downwards and not having it flat, like parallel to the table. So this first color that we're using, I've never actually used before. I got it in a recent haul. I will link that in the cards. It's from Sugar and Cream and it's called Seashells, and it's a really gorgeous nude nail plate kind of color, but it has these huge like holographic mylar pieces in it. So in the application, especially around the cuticle, those mylar pieces were like in the way, and I was like, oh man, this is rough, you know, with the chunky pieces. But it's a really gorgeous nude, I would think, for a glam set. As you can see, the really chunky pieces. So I was like, how am I gonna push this bead up towards the cuticle without getting these pieces on her cuticle? But I managed. I was like mashing them into the acrylic, but it's a really, really gorgeous effect that it gives. You can't really see it here because I've got her finger angled down, and it's not top coated yet, but it came out really lovely with the glossy top coat. So I am just giving her a nice thicker application because I'm trying to build up strength. I am still going to clear cap all of the nails, but just not doing like a paint coat of acrylic. You actually building up, say, like 50% of the structure of the nail. I just like to clear cap the nails always for strength. Sometimes if you apply the acrylic thick enough, you don't have to, but I mean, we all know that colored acrylic is more expensive, especially ones with like glitter effects like this or like glow in the dark. So yeah, I'm gonna clear cap her nails afterwards anyway. But this color, as you can see the glitter in the nail. It's really, really pretty and went really well with her skin tone. So I only used that seashells color on that finger. On all of the other fingers, I'm going to actually be using another Sugar and Cream color it matched really well actually, called Bearless, and I believe it's a glow in the dark. I'm not sure. I will link it below, and it'll say if it's a glow in the dark or not. But Bearless is another sugar and cream color that basically looks exactly like seashells, but it doesn't have the glitter in it. And as you can see, I basically placed it at the cuticle and faded it out to nothing. I want these tips to be clear. Now I'm taking this iGel Beauty glitter. It's called Sun Bliss. It's a holographic chrome glitter, and it's a really gorgeous color, and I love it because it can go in so many different directions. So with this set, it's giving you nude, glam, like shimmery pink holo vibes, but with another set it can go in a different direction. It has this really soft nude, pinky, but blue and yellow reflective to it. It's just really nice, and I think it played really well with the mylar pieces that were in seashells. On the middle finger, we are doing a standard baby boomer, so I'm doing a white tip. I'm using more of a softer white today. This is Marshmallow from Sugar. It's a whole sugar and cream set, guys. Like, I think besides that glitter from iGel Beauty, it's pretty much all sugar and cream, so that's funny. But yeah, Marshmallow from Sugar and Cream is a nice, gorgeous white. So it's kind of like a sheer white. I wouldn't say it's like a winter white from iGel Beauty. It's a little bit more opaque than that, but it's a really, really gentle white. So it's not too stark, especially for a set like this, where we don't want anything to pretty much stand out. And then I'm going in with that same Bearless color and just blending it down to give a nice seamless transition from the cuticle to the white tip of the nail. I'm also going to do that on the thumb, and I'm going to redo what I did on the pinky on her pointer finger. So I just wanted to talk about it, I guess, of like just how better I'm getting in doing nails. You guys are watching real time how I am, just application is getting better, confidence is growing, and even time. Like, I was able to apply these nails so quickly that the client was just kind of like, I was expecting to be here so much longer than that. And I was like, okay, go ahead, pat yourself on the shoulders. It's just really cool to see the growth in just doing, you know, these nails. I started less than a year ago with the pandemic. I went to school at the end of the year, graduated, and am, taking clients. And even the client base has been growing. And I'm just so surprised and kind of flattered that people like my work and are trusting me to, I guess, give them quality work. And I'm always low-key hella surprised when people come back and there's like no lifting and they haven't broken any nails and rhinestones haven't come off. Like, obviously I know I'm doing the right thing, because I'm trusting myself, but at the same time, imposter syndrome is real, guys. Like, I love doing this, but I never expected to kind of make it a thing. I just learned, started doing nails for myself. I never went into it thinking like, oh, I'm going to be a huge nail tech or anything like that. So I'm just really proud of myself. And if you're someone, it doesn't even have to be nails. It can be literally anything. If you're someone who's like on the fence about trying something new, just freaking do it. Like, you don't know where you're going to go with it or how big it's going to become for you if you don't try. So just freaking try. Okay. Like, I'm so impressed with myself. And every time, I get a new client or someone's like, oh, I saw that you did this person's nails. Can I come to you? I'm always just kind of like, who, me? What? Just try, guys. You never know where things are going to end up. And yeah, that seashells color is really, really pretty. I need to do like a full set of that. Not to like segue, but like, yeah, that color, the nude seashells color with the mylar pieces is really pretty. Like I said, I will link that video in the cards for you to check out that haul, because that was a really good haul, that sugar and cream and the red acrylics video. Okay, so because it was her birthday set, she was reiterating to me that she wanted these nails to sparkle. And I know that I didn't want to go crazy with bling on this set, so I'm doing something that I did on myself in a previous video that I thought was just really, really amazing and special. So I'm placing a really wet bead of clear acrylic over the glitter that I placed on those ombre glitter nails with the clear tips, and I am actually picking up diamond pixies, which are they're like tiny little holographic AB diamonds. They're really, really small, and I am going to be clear capping them in the nail. So in a previous video, I will link that below, I did on myself. I went in and did this where I encapsulated these pixies, and they just leave these tiny little flecks of holographic sparkle, but you can't really tell what they are when they're encapsulated in clear acrylic. So I did that and she loved it. So that's just something that I did. We are going to be using these pixies again in the video later, but I just thought that this would be a nice touch of continuity to have the pixies on top of the nail and encapsulated in these glitter nails. So now I'm going to use my sugar and cream crystal clear, and I'm just going to be clear capping all of these nails, making sure, especially for these nails with the pixies that have the clear tip, to build up structure where needed, to make sure I'm encapsulating all of those pixie pieces, making sure that acrylic gets in and around all of those pieces. I will have to shave off some of them because I placed them at the top and a little bit at the sides of the nail, but that's totally fine because they're just there for decoration. And just to build up the apex where needed. Her nails are a little bit longer than what I'm used to doing with the clientele that I have. So just making sure that the shape of the nail is going to support the length here. And then just making sure that the application is smooth so that we don't have to do too much when it comes to filing. I've got the Young Nails dust collector out. I'm getting a lot of use with this dust collector. I will say that I do enjoy that it is on the quieter side. I like that it is low profile in terms of like height on the table. I love that you can actually clean that filter out, take off the top piece and like really give it a good cleaning. But I do not think that the suction is better than the McCart dust collector. That dust collector did have a dial on it, the McCart one, so you could turn it up as high as you wanted it to be, and I think that the highest level on that McCart dust collector was higher than the one on the Young Nails one. The Young Nails dust collector just has an on-off button, which is totally fine. It's really sleek and like nice to have, but I don't think it sucks as much dust as the McCart one did. So that's just something to think about if you're looking for a portable dust collector. And the McCart one is loud AF, guys. Like, it is so loud. So that's another thing. So it was just something to think about. I have both, but I've been using the crap out of the Young Nails one. But yeah, it gets the job done for the most part. I'm using a medium grit hand file to just refine the shape. I didn't have to do too much filing, as you saw with the tips in the beginning, because they were the one step coffin tips. So I'm just cleaning up the sidewalls if I got any acrylic on the client's skin, and making sure that the free edge has that nice sharp shape. I'm also going to go in later with a 5-in-1 fine bit and debulk wherever I need to, clean up the cuticle area and sidewall area, and then to smooth out the length of the nail as well. So like I mentioned, this is a 5-in-1 fine carbide bit. It is a safety, so the top of the bit doesn't actually have teeth. It's kind of rounded off to a flat top. Some carbide bits don't have that rounded top flat piece. I don't know if I'm explaining that well. It's a flat top, kind of like a cone, but right at the edge of the vertical and the horizontal flat piece, it's rounded. So you can't, well, I'm not gonna say you can't, you probably could if you did something real crazy, but it's a safety because it's rounded off before it gets to that flat edge. Some carbide bits do not have that rounded edge, so you have to be careful, or more careful when using it around the cuticle and or sidewall area of the client. It's really sharp, and at the speed that you're using it, you can cut your client. I have done that in the past. I've done that to myself. So if you are someone who's not the most comfortable with an e-file, then I would suggest just using safeties like this, or using a dome top bit, just so that until you get comfortable with it. For the most part, I'm pretty fine with e-filing. I do use my pinky to kind of as a fulcrum to kind of make sure that I'm holding the pressure in my pinky and not on the client, so I can control how hard I'm pressing, or how lightly I'm pressing on the client's nail with the bit. I see some people don't do that. Kudos to y'all, because I need to. It just helps me have more control with the e-file that way. But yeah, after this, I'm going to go back in with the hand file just to maintain that shape even more, make sure that I didn't file away the crisp edges that I want with the nail, and then I'm going to go in with a fine buffer just to give it a nice sanding to make sure that the nail is completely smooth for the next application. And after buffing, I'm spraying the client's hands with some Young Nail Swipe and going in with a manicure brush to clean and to remove any dust particles that might be sitting in the cuticle area and things like that. So she wanted pixies. Well, I wanted the pixies. She wanted sparkle, and I was like, let's do it. Let's put some pixies on this middle finger. So I'm going in with the Two Guys No Wipe Top Coat Gloss Bling Gel. You do not have to top coat this bling gel. I am just in the habit of top coating my bling gels. Some of them are not non-wipe, but this one is. You can actually just go in with your bling after applying it, but I like to just apply my top coat. It gives it a second layer of gel for items to sit in, and it helps to smooth out. Like you see I use that brush. A lot of the times I don't get a smooth application after applying bling gel, so adding glossy top coat or matte top coat on top just kind of fills in any ridges and gives you a second layer of gel for whatever you're placing to sit in. It just makes it extra secure. So I'm going in with my iGel Beauty No Wipe Top Coat Gloss, I said bling gel, gloss top coat, and then I'm going to be sprinkling some Crystal AB Pixies, the same ones that I encapsulated earlier, onto this nail. We're gonna pat, push them into the areas where you want them to be, and then we're gonna have her cure for a full 60 seconds. So I told her to keep her fingers stiff, like upright. I have my little tray to collect the excess because we know they are kind of expensive. I actually poured them into this glitter shaker bottle that I got from Michael's. It's just more convenient that way. I'm tapping them away, and I'm using a cuticle pusher to kind of get them away from her cuticle area, to push them into the gel, and then I'm going to use my finger to kind of pat them into place. I don't want them on the sides of her nail. I want them to stay kind of on top, and then I'm just going to pat them to where I think they're okay, and then I'm going to have her cure her nail. So it's really, really pretty. I love that when you do the pixies, pretty much over anything, you can still see the color of what you did underneath. It's really, really gorgeous. So if you have like a red nail and you put clear pixies on top, you can see the red underneath the diamond sparkle. So that's really, really nice. And she loved it. So that's what's happening on both middle fingers of both hands. And for the ring finger, I am going to be doing some bling work. You see I got my bling down below. I've got some regular, I guess, random size and shape rhinestones that you can get like all over Amazon or AliExpress or anything like that. And then I've got some Swarovski opal white and opal pink rhinestones. I've got my caviar bead set. This caviar bead container actually is not from there. I got these 12 compartment containers from Amazon. These caviar beads are actually from the two guys. They come in a set of all different colors and sizes. So I just pour them in here because it's easier to use in this container. And that's what seashells looks like glossy. Like, it's really, really pretty, guys, with the mylar pieces. So I'm just going to be building up a random rhinestone pattern with this mix of rhinestones. So you can just watch me figure this out. Don't forget that when you're doing the bling gel method, gravity is a factor. So you do need to work quickly. You will see that I am going in and cleaning her sidewalls as well. The gel does move. Okay, so one great thing about doing this method is that you really get to stick these pieces into the gel, so they're not going to go anywhere. I very rarely see people come back to me and they don't, or they're missing pieces or missing bling. But when you're doing the application, it will be shifting. You'll see that bigger piece that I place is shifting slightly down, or you'll see gel pooling towards her sidewalls just because gravity is pulling the gel down. It's a thicker consistency than using an air adhesive bling adhesive, but you do have time. If you're someone who, like me, likes to go and take their time and, you know, figure things out, then this might be a good method for you. You just have more time. And if you change your mind, or if the client doesn't like it, the great thing about it is you can just take an alcohol wipe and wipe it off, and you won't have to mess up. You won't have messed up your design or anything like that. So I'm building up a rhinestone pattern with different size crystal AB stones, those white and pink opal Swarovski stones, and then I'm using silver and rose gold caviar beads. So yeah, nothing crazy. Just building up a simple, I'll say it's a simple rhinestone pattern. And then after I'm done, I'm gonna clean the sidewalls, make sure that there's no gel on the skin around the side of the nail, and then swipe the free edge and then have her cure for a full 60 seconds. And I'm gonna do that on the other hand on the same ring finger as well. After the blinging, we are going in with a glossy top coat from iGel Beauty. It is a no wipe. I'm going to apply it to the rest of the nails. On these nails that have the clear tip, we are applying it on the top and bottom of the tip, because remember, we didn't apply anything but clear to the tips. We want them to be glass-like. And then to the thumb, and then I'm going to have her cure for 60 seconds, and then the set is done. Here we are. I think the set came out really, really pretty. I think it's the length and the shape. The colors were really nude. It's a gorgeous glam set for her birthday. Happy birthday to you if you're watching. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you really like it. I am so proud of my progress, and I hope you are too, and enjoying my videos. Thank you so much for watching again. Like if you like this one, subscribe for more, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.